From the outside, my life with Olivia appeared flawless, a picturesque marriage built on love, success, and family. I was the calm, practical businessman who valued loyalty and trust, while Olivia thrived in high society circles, commanding attention with her charm and elegance. Our children, Lily and Ethan, were away on holiday with my parents, giving us a rare moment of solitude. It seemed like the perfect opportunity to reconnect as a couple, or so I thought. When Olivia suggested a vacation, I was surprised. "It'll be good for us," she said with that winning smile of hers. "Just the two of us, a chance to relax, unwind, and rekindle what we have." Her words were convincing, though I noticed a subtle impatience in her tone, as if she were waiting for me to agree without question. And I did. Trusting Olivia had always been my default setting. Besides, she was right. We deserved a break. She took charge of planning the trip, insisting she knew exactly what we needed. "I'll handle everything," she said with a wave of her perfectly manicured hand. I didn't argue. Olivia had a way of taking the reins and making it seem like she was doing me a favor. Truthfully, I was relieved to have one less thing to think about amidst the chaos of running a business. The weeks leading up to the vacation were a whirlwind of her excitement and my quiet anticipation. She spent hours researching resorts, booking spa packages, and shopping for vacation outfits. I simply nodded along, letting her enthusiasm carry us both. This trip was her way of trying, of showing she cared about our relationship. But as the departure date approached, I couldn't shake a nagging feeling. It wasn't anything concrete, just a sense that something was off. Olivia's excitement seemed almost too rehearsed, her insistence on handling every detail, unusually, firm. Still, I dismissed my unease. Doubting Olivia felt disloyal, and I wasn't the type to second-guess my wife. A vacation for two. Or so I thought. When the day finally arrived, I watched her pack with an efficiency that spoke of experience. "Are you sure you've got everything?" I asked, half joking. "You've packed enough for a month." She laughed lightly, brushing off my comment. "You know how I am, always prepared." As we headed to the airport, I allowed myself to relax. Maybe this was exactly what we needed, a chance to reconnect without the distractions of daily life. I looked at Olivia, radiant and confident, and reminded myself why I fell in love with her in the first place. The flight was smooth. Olivia spent most of it scrolling through her phone, occasionally glancing at me with a distracted smile. I didn't mind. I let myself imagine the serene beaches and peaceful days ahead. When we arrived at the resort, Olivia's face lit up. "Isn't this stunning?" she gushed, gesturing to the grand entrance and the crystal-clear ocean beyond. I nodded, genuinely impressed. The place was luxurious, far beyond what I would have chosen for myself, but I didn't mind splurging if it made Olivia happy. As we checked in, she leaned into me, her voice low and conspiratorial. "This is going to be amazing, David. Just you wait." Her words felt reassuring, and I let my earlier doubts fade. For the first time in a long while, I felt optimistic. Then I saw them. "David, look who's here!" Olivia exclaimed, waving enthusiastically. Three women, Clara, Fiona, and Melissa, strode toward us, their designer sunglasses perched atop perfectly styled hair. Their energy filled the room like a tidal wave, high-pitched laughter, exaggerated greetings. I blinked, confused. This was supposed to be a couple's getaway. Olivia hadn't mentioned anyone else joining us. Clara reached us first, pulling Olivia into a tight hug. "Liv, you look amazing! I can't believe we're finally doing this!" "This place is incredible," Melissa chimed in, her eyes sweeping the surroundings. "Leave it to Olivia to pick the best." I stood there, an outsider in what was clearly a prearranged gathering. Olivia turned to me, her smile wide and bright. "David, you remember Clara, Fiona, and Melissa, don't you?" I nodded, politely, barely recalling them from past social events Olivia had dragged me to. "Isn't this wonderful?" Olivia said, slipping her arm through mine. "We can all relax together. It'll be so much fun." Fun. That was one word for it. The joke was on me. As the women settled into the plush lobby seating, their laughter filled the air. Olivia was in her element, the center of attention, effortlessly steering the conversation. I tried to participate, but every attempt to contribute was met with polite indifference or redirected back to Olivia. Then came the subtle jabs. "David, you're so lucky Olivia handles everything," Fiona said with a sly smile. "I don't know how you'd manage without her." "Let's be honest," Clara added, swirling her drink. "Olivia is the real powerhouse, isn't she? Running the household, keeping up with us, and still finding time for you?" They laughed. I forced a smile, masking the sting. Olivia didn't defend me. In fact, she leaned into the narrative, casually boasting about her connections and accomplishments, as if I were an afterthought. "Well, someone has to keep things running," Olivia said, raising her glass. "David's got his business, but I'm the glue that holds everything together." They cheered. I sipped my drink in silence, wondering how I had ended up here. At one point, Melissa leaned forward, her voice low but not low enough. "You're so lucky, Liv. Most guys wouldn't fund a trip like this." "Fund?" My grip tightened on my glass. Of course I'd agreed to pay for the trip, but hearing it framed this way felt off. Olivia laughed lightly, brushing off the comment. "Well, David understands the importance of treating me right." "Don't you, darling?" I nodded, keeping my expression neutral. Inside, something shifted. This wasn't a couple's getaway, this was Olivia's show, and I was just the prop. The final blow. At check-in, the receptionist smiled. "Your party's rooms are ready, Mr. and Mrs. Bennett." Party? The word hit me like a slap. I glanced at the key cards and noticed something strange. All the rooms were charged to my credit card. Every single one. "Excuse me," I said, my voice calm but firm. "There must be a mistake. I only authorize one room." The receptionist glanced at Olivia. She stepped in smoothly. "Oh, it's fine, David. I arranged everything. Trust me, it's easier this way." I turned to Olivia, waiting for an explanation. Instead, she handed me a single key. "Here's your room," she said casually. "I'll be staying with Clara tonight. We just have so much to catch up on." Fiona chuckled. "She needs her space, David. Don't take it personally." Melissa grinned. "We reserved rooms only for the elites." And just like that, I realized how thoroughly I'd been played. This wasn't a vacation for us. This was her vacation, funded entirely by me. I looked at Olivia, my expression unreadable. "Enjoy your evening," I said evenly. Then, without another word, I walked out of the lobby. She thought she had control. She had no idea what was coming next. When the resort contacted me, I knew Olivia's carefully curated world was beginning to crumble. Sitting in my office, reviewing documents, my phone buzzed relentlessly. At first, I thought it was Olivia, but when I glanced at the screen, an unfamiliar number stared back. Against my better judgment, I answered. "David Bennett," I said curtly. "Mr. Bennett, this is Karen from the Riviera Resort," the voice on the other end said politely. "We're reaching out regarding an urgent matter involving your wife and her partner. It appears there are unpaid charges for their stay, and they've informed us you are the account holder." I suppressed a laugh, leaning back in my chair. "Karen, I'm not sure what Olivia told you, but I'm no longer responsible for her expenses. In fact, I've taken steps to ensure I'm not." Karen hesitated, clearly unsure how to proceed. "I understand, sir, but the charges are significant. We were hoping to resolve this amicably." "I have no doubt," I replied, my tone cool. "But Olivia and her friends are adults. They can figure it out. Good luck." I hung up, shaking my head. Olivia had always relied on me to clean up her messes, but those days were over. Back at the resort, Olivia's world was falling apart. After the divorce papers were delivered, the resort staff refused to wait any longer for payment. They demanded immediate action, threatening to involve local authorities if the balance wasn't settled. "David can't do this," Olivia fumed, pacing the lobby, divorce papers clenched in one hand, her phone in the other. "He's being petty. He'll cave. He always does." But the resort manager wasn't interested in her personal drama. "Ma'am, this is a business matter. We require payment in full before your party can continue using our facilities." Clara, who had been silently observing, finally snapped. "Olivia, what is going on? First, the cards are declined, and now we're being told the bills haven't been paid. You said you had this covered." Fiona, never one to hold back, chimed in. "You lied to us, didn't you? All that talk about being the breadwinner, it's all David's money, isn't it?" Olivia glared at them, her composure cracking. "That's not the point. David's being vindictive. He canceled everything without warning." "Maybe because he's finally tired of your games," Clara retorted. The tension between them was palpable. Olivia, once the confident ringleader of their group, was now exposed and vulnerable. Her friends, who had basked in her generosity, were turning against her. When the resort staff demanded their passports as collateral, the humiliation reached its peak. Olivia was forced to call her brother, begging for a loan to settle the bills. He agreed, reluctantly, but not without a lecture that left her seething. By the time the payments cleared, the damage was done. Clara and Fiona packed their bags, refusing to spend another moment at the resort. "This isn't what I signed up for," Clara said coldly. "You can find your own way home, Olivia." Fiona shot her a scornful look. "Good luck with your divorce. You're going to need it." And just like that, Olivia was alone. The next morning, she returned to what had once been our home, expecting to find some semblance of normalcy. Instead, she was met with locked doors and a note taped to the front. "Olivia, your belongings have been packed and sent to your brother's house. Please contact Rebecca Smith for any further communication."